Good morning, everybody. My name is Brother Jones. Hope you guys are having a blessed day. Shalom to all my brothers and sisters. And for those who are, celebrate January 1st New Year, hey, Happy New Year according to the Gregorian calendar. Hey, I'm not going to bring you, go bash my brothers and my sisters because I was in that phase. Though I don't celebrate the New Year according to the Gregorian calendar, me, I celebrate the Abib, and I celebrate also the Tishri. I believe that we have two calendars, you know what I'm saying? Two New Years. One, I follow the fourth season. I believe the very first season is spring because the word spring means to bring forth birth, okay? And in agriculture and nature, you see that in springtime, that's when the flowers start to bloom, blossom, the bees, the butterflies, a lot of beautiful insect. And also in springtime, you notice that a lot of shepherds start to come out, a lot of farmers start to come out too. And then you start seeing a lot of lambs are being birthed more in springtime. And so for me, I respect the Gregorian calendar, but I do not celebrate January the 1st. I don't celebrate New Year. The only January the 1st I do celebrate, though, I do celebrate January the 1st is New Year, or January 1st I don't. January the 1st that I celebrate is the Haitian Independence Day. On call it 1er janvier 1804, okay? January the 1st, 1804. Was we had a brave warrior named Jean-Jacques Dessalines. And 1804 helped us to gain independence, to make Haiti to be the very first republic, okay? Gain the independence against our oppressor, the French and the Spaniards and the British, okay? Always remember that. Janvier 1er 1804, c'est jour Jean-Jacques Dessalines et nous et de nous déclarer indépendance nous en bas moun qui t'a oppressé nous yo français yo Angleterre yo avec moun espagnol yo. Je dis à nous indépendants, okay? And it's very important that we pay attention to that. And when we say Haitian Independence Day, we're talking about all black, because when in 1804, when Haiti got their independence, they wanted Haiti to be for all blacks who were being oppressed or being enslaved. That's why you had Dirty Boukman, you had Nanny Maroon. We had a lot of heroes that was fighting at that time that wanted to be free. And that's why if you look at our history, and I'm going to go back to the calendar, when you look at our history, that you will see that there is Haitian monuments in Savannah, Georgia. You go to Savannah, Georgia, go to the Franklin Square, okay, in Savannah, Georgia, close to the downtown Savannah, Georgia, and you will see monuments of Haitians. And if you go around Mississippi also, you go to Louisiana, okay, and you go to Chicago, Illinois, you will see there's a monument of a young fella before America gained their independence. He was there in 1750s, okay? In the 1750s, he's the founder of Chicago, Illinois. His name is Jean-Baptiste Point du Sable, okay? He's from Saint Mark, Haiti, which is in Latibonite, okay? So look up Saint Mark, Haiti, and look up that guy. He's in Chicago. So Haitians been here for a long time. So a lot of people that's in Chicago right now that claim to be African Americans have Haitian blood. So we are a mixture. Remember, the only difference between us and African Americans and Jamaicans and stuff, many of us were dropped in different boats. Remember, we came from Ingbo, we are part of the Limba, we part of the Bantu. We are the same Hebrews. That's why when you look at us in Africa, Africans look at the Ingbo tribes and Limba tribes and the Bantu as people from the other side. The word Hebrew means people from the other side. That's why we call ourselves diasporas, okay? Now back to the calendar thing, okay? The one reason I don't celebrate January the 1st and I don't claim January the 1st because I done my research on calendars. Now remember, the Gregorian calendar for the Europeans in America was mostly in 52. But Saint Gregory created this calendar in 1582. Okay, well, Saint Gregory, which is a Catholic priest in the Catholic Church, came with his calendar according to the solar system to have 365 days. But for this prophecy to be fulfilled, remember in Daniel chapter 9, verses 27, it says that the Gentiles will come and change times. And the Gentiles, when you go to Daniel chapter 7 also, 22 to 27, and you'll notice about the fourth beast, and the fourth beast, the 10 kings and all that kind of stuff. And Revelation 18, they're talking about the fourth beast, the fourth beast, which would be Rome. Now, you got to remember, the systematic system was, you had the first beast in Daniel chapter 7, which is Babylon. Then you had the second beast, which is the Medo-Persia. The third beast, which is Greece. And the fourth beast, which is Rome, which is that created the European. And today, the little small horn that came out of them is America. Okay, remember, three kings came out, which were Spain, France, and England. And in 1700s, if you look at the history, you will see in 1492, Christopher Columbus, Spain. Then 1500s, also in 1600s, you remember you had the French, and you had the Spaniard, you had the Spanish, the French, and the British War in America. And in July the 4th of 1776, the 13 colony, 13 is a Masonic symbol. Remember, the 13 colonies fought against the British, which is the small horn, to declare the small horn, okay? Now, the Roman system, okay, which got their system also from the Egyptians, the 365 days, okay, solar system according to Amun-Ra. So in 1582, when St. Gregory came with that system, they wanted to establish the old calendar, which is the 365 days calendar. Now remember, in Deuteronomy 28:68, it says that we will be taken in ships and be taken to be a bondsman and bondwoman into Egypt. Okay. Now, if you look at the Egypt they are talking about, is the systematic things today of the Egyptos, of the systematic system. Okay, you look at a lot of symbols that they got today in the Roman system. You will see the eagles and you see the phoenix and all that kind of stuff. Now, when we are talking about the calendar, according to the system, according to who's ruling the world today, we go according to the Gregorian calendar. Now, also, the other calendar that we have the Mayan calendar, we have the Ethiopian calendar, we also have the Chinese calendar, we have the Islamic calendar, we have the Hebrew calendar. Now, if you look at the Chinese, the Japanese, the Ethiopian, the Hebrew, the Islamic calendar, they go according to the lunar, okay, the lunar system. The Gregorian calendar that we have today go according to the solar system, which is, and the way they do things too. In the other calendars, they mark their new year based on springtime, the four seasons. The Gregorian calendar falls into January, which is in wintertime, which is totally confusing anyway. Now, another thing that that's kind of confusing about the thing is, according to the Gregorian calendar, January, which they take as remember, the original name for January comes from the Roman god Janus, who is the god of the doorway or the gateway of the beginning and also the ending. Okay, he was not the very first day though, but he was like the 11th month. The last month was February because they say the February was the cursed month. Okay, the very first month, according to Julian calendar, was in March. Okay, so you in the Julian calendar they had March, they had April, and they had Maya, they had Sextilis, they had Sectilis, and they had September, they had October, they had November, they had December, and then they had Janus, then they have February. Okay, but in the Gregorian calendar, things done changed. They had Janus, then they had March. I mean, they have February. Then they had March, which is the Roman god Mars. Then they have Aprilis, and then they had May, which is Maya, the goddess. And they had Juno, another goddess. She's Juno is the supreme goddess, the wife of Jupiter. Then after that, they had July, who came from Julius Caesar. Then they had August, that comes from Augustus Caesar. Then after that, they had October. No, they had September, which is supposed to be the 7th month. Then they had October, which is supposed to be the 8th month, and they had November, that was supposed to be the 10th. No, the 9th month, and December, which is supposed to be December, which is supposed to be the 10th month. Okay, so now, like I was saying, I'm kind of tired just today, but it's very important that you guys go do the research, because one of the things is I feel like sometimes without doing these research and stuff like that, we got caught up in the thing, and especially we who are black people. Remember, when we came here in 1619 in Jamestown, Virginia, August the 20th, 1619, Jamestown, Virginia. They changed a lot of things about us. They changed our times, so we don't know our calendar. We don't know our names. We don't know our culture. We don't know who we are. That is why it's very important that you go back and study, do some research. That's why I follow two calendars. I follow the Ethiopian and the Hebrew. And I believe that we have two kind of months and New Year's. The one is in September. The one reason I say September, because in Genesis chapter 1, and then in Genesis chapter 2. Okay, one reason I say that is because in September, all the time of the tabernacle, all the time in Matthew chapter 1 verses 19 and 20. Remember, when Gabriel came to Mary, he says that you will have a son, okay, and she shall conceive a child, for the Ruach Kadesh, which is the Holy Spirit, conceived. That's when the Spirit entered inside Mary. Okay. Now, in the Sukkot, or the feast of the tabernacle, remember the tabernacle is the temple. Remember, the body is the temple. So the womb or the body is the temple. In Genesis chapter 2, verses 7, the Spirit, okay, breathed inside the man. Okay, went inside the nostril of the man. So the Spirit entered the tabernacle. Okay, so is the same way. When the sperm, which is the Abba, from the father, the sperm, the XY enters the woman. Okay, the Spirit is just like the Spirit go inside the womb of the woman. The sperm goes inside the egg. Okay, is the very first chapter of that birth, or the first chapter of that conceived, or the pregnancy, or that child. Okay, and when that egg, the sperm goes inside the egg, the woman, it becomes pregnant. She got fertilized, and the Spirit enters inside the body. Okay, so in the Tishri, okay, we believe Tishri is the first new year. Okay, and the Ethiopians and a lot of cultures celebrate that. That's the new year, which is the Spirit entering the body. Now, the other form of New Year that we have too is the Abib, which means the moment of the springtime, which in the springtime, which is the Abib or the Passover. This is when the birth. Remember in Luke chapter 1, where it says that Yahshua was born 6 months after John the Baptist. John the Baptist was born, okay, on the second or the time, the feast of the tabernacle. Yahshua was born 6 months, which is the Passover, okay. Yahshua was born on the Passover. He became the lamb, okay, which is on the time of the Abib. John the Baptist was born in the second, and Yahshua was born on to the Abib. I know what I'm saying right now is kind of confusing, okay. And the second New Year that, like I told you, that we celebrate is also the Abib, which is the time of the Passover. Okay, this is when springtime comes in, according to the fall calendar, according to the lunar. We have the springtime, which when flowers and agriculture, you start having bears. And all of these animals stop from hibernating. That's when you start seeing butterflies, and you start seeing all the beautiful flowers start to come out. Okay, and right now I'm kind of tired, and I'm babbling. It's kind of early, and I just want you guys to do a little bit of research. You know what I'm saying? Study about who you are as a person. Find out who you are as a person. Do a little bit of research. Don't follow according to what people say. Don't even follow what I say. But just do a little research. Start thinking for yourself. Okay? And like for me right now, I don't celebrate Independence Day. I'm trying to free my mind and free myself from the systematic system. But I do follow the feast days. I do follow who I am. And one of the things I forgot to tell you, on the Ethiopian, the one reason I said Ethiopian calendar, I follow the Ethiopian calendar. It's also part of the Hebrew calendar too. One of the things that are important is Genesis chapter 2, verses 13. Remember, it says, in verse 13, it says that there was a water that watered the whole land of Ethiopia. Now, if you go in a different Bible, it said the whole land of Cush. Now, Cush in Ethiopia is in Africa, okay? Now, in Genesis chapter 2, verses 7, it says, Elohim breathes into the nostril of Adam, and Adam became Ish, okay? Remember, in the Adama, he breathed into the nostril of the earth, okay, in the dirt. And then after that, when verse 7 and verse 8 and 9, it says he took Adam and placed him eastward, okay, eastward. Now, when you read it in verse 9 and in Genesis 2, verse 9, it said he placed him eastward, okay. Now, those who study what you call it, the compass or geography, you have north, you have east, you have west, and you have south. So, Adam, if he took Adam and placed him east, means Adam was west of the garden. Remember, the garden was eastward of Eden, okay? And it says the water, okay, the river watered the whole land of Ethiopia. Now, if Adam was taken from his location and was placed eastward of Eden, and Ethiopia is east of Africa, where do you think Elohim took Adam from? Elohim took Adam west. The opposite of east is west. Now, if you look at east of Africa, it's Ethiopia, Cush. And the whole land, Egypt and all that time, used to be called Cush. All the Middle East used to be called Cush. And Elohim took Adam and placed him east. That means he took him from the west. The what river that's close to Cush or Ethiopia would be the Nile River. Now, not only that, what is west of the Nile River? You look at Niger, Congo, Uganda, Cameroon, Ghana, Nigeria, Mali. Okay? And so God took Adam from west of Africa and placed him east of Africa. That means Ethiopia and Cush is northeast of Africa. And the Garden of Eden was northeast of Africa. You know what I'm saying? And they said that the water watered the whole land. Not only that, it says in verse 10 and 11, it said Havilah. It said in Havilah had gold, it had onyx. Now, if you go to Africa, you go to Yemen and all those, in the Yemen and all that kind of stuff, you will notice that those areas have onyx and gold. And they were pure and they were precious, okay? Now, think about that. You know what I'm saying? Think about that. The only thing that the only water that's in that area that's close to Ethiopia is the Nile River. Okay, and the Nile River, you go to north of the Nile River, you see it prolong. It goes into Israel, and it goes to the Tigris and Euphrates River, which is in verse 14 of Genesis 2. And it's the one reason I said that I follow two calendars, and I said Ethiopian. Okay, and the word Ethiopian comes from the Greek. Okay, they used to call us Cush. The Greeks call us Ethiopians because they call us burnt face or black. Okay, remember Kemet is also called black land. So when you look at, when they say black or burnt face, they're talking about black people. Okay, we are people. We are black people. And you know, when I say Ethiopia, I say Cush. I ain't talking about the land Ethiopia. I ain't talking about Ethiopians as the people or the Cushite as the people. I'm talking as black people. So these are evidence that show that Adam was a black man. So study geography, study genealogy, study things. And this is what I believe, and this is why I follow these calendars, okay? I follow the Tishri, I believe September 11th and to 12th, which is part of Tishri too. You will see that the Hebrews also celebrate the New Year, Tishri, when the time of the tabernacle and the Sukkot, and they also celebrate January also. I mean, the Nisan, which is the and the Abib, okay, the Passover, which is the very first new month, okay. And you remember, we also follow the lunar, okay, the new moon. The new moon is the very first day, okay. Then after that, the day after, which is also dark moon, also marks another first day of the week, okay? So, kind of tired right now. I don't know what I'm saying, but I know what I'm saying. Hope you guys understand, and you guys have a blessed day. Shalom Aleichem, and you guys enjoy yourself. You know what I'm saying? And I'm just kind of fed up with a lot of our brothers who bringing down our people just because they discovered a new way of life. Look, man. Just because I don't celebrate January 1st, I'm not here to bash my brothers. I'm not here to criticize my brothers. I one time was part of the system too. I used to celebrate Christmas and all that kind of stuff too. So who am I to bring down my brothers? The only thing that we are here to do is to bring the knowledge and the truth, to bring the gospel of the good news, to tell our people, to know about their history, to study about who they are, to be awakened, okay? I'm not here to bring down, I'm tired of seeing these Hebrew Israelites or these Comedics or these people like Brother Polite and all that stuff, bringing down our people. We're not here to bring down our people. We are here to bring knowledge to our people, to have them do some research. You don't have to agree with what I say. We're just here to try and help our people to be awakened and to not fall into systematic slavery, you know, and, stay strong, and you guys have a blessed day and enjoy yourself, you know. For those who are right now celebrating January the 1st, Haitian Independence Day, bonne année, Happy New Year to you, and Happy Independence Day to you. Bonjour d'indépendance pour vous-même, and enjoy some soup joumou for me, and some ginger tea and stuff like that. You know what I mean? Thé gingembre avec soup joumou. And you guys have a blessed day. Shalom Aleichem. I hope, sometimes when I'm making these videos, I talk a little bit too fast, you know what I'm saying? And I'm just happy, man. I'm happy to be free, man. I'm happy to be free. And I'm happy to bring knowledge. Like somebody brought knowledge to me, and I'm trying to bring knowledge to you guys. You see what I'm saying? And it takes a process, you see what I'm saying? And keep doing your research, you know. I love you guys. Stay strong. Shalom Aleichem. Be blessed.